guys and girls, and today we're going to be talking about another charismatic species, specifically Gnathanodon speciosus, otherwise known as the golden kingfish. Now the name Gnathanodon, excuse me, comes from the fact that they've got no teeth. It means toothless, so it's actually just got a little rasping type plates on the front, as opposed to some of the other kingfishers you get got little teeth that all run all the way on. And then speciosus is derived from the word beautiful, so it's a very beautiful toothless fish, if that makes sense. Now the golden kingfish in Australia called golden trevally, some other place in the world as well, but we call all of our kingies. Now it's a very beautiful fish, got an overall sort of golden, almost olivey type color to it, but more so in the juveniles, and as they get older they get a little bit more silver to them. And they've got these very strong bars that run down the body, interspersed all the way along. In general, sort of the same kind of sizing as or shaping as say a brassy kingfish, that's slightly more elongated. And then they've got big fleshy lips and a protruding mouth. So the mouth they use with the fleshy lips, they actually use to go and filter through the sand. They jut the jaw out, and that will force the sand or anything that's in the sand into the mouth. And then it gets pushed through the gill rakers, and anything that's edible or that they want to eat, they can then ingest. So the gill rakers are those little, if you've ever gutted a fish or gilled it, you'll find on the actual gill arches themselves, there's little spikes that sit along like that. Those are called your gill rakers. Some fish have got more and sharper ones, so if you put your hand in the gills, you can actually cut your fingers quite badly. That's a little subside. So yeah, as we mentioned, the type of mouth and the way their jaw works lends themselves to feeding in sand. In Australia, they're a prolific saltwater fly fishing target because they feed on the flats, those shallow sandy areas. They move along and just eat any worms, prawns and small little fish that they can shoot out with their jaws. Now in terms of South Africa, you're really only going to get them from Tugela mouth north, and only really in the summer are you going to find them along the Zululand coast. Now in terms of your targeting and size they get up to about 1.2 meters, which is about, I think, about 15 kilos or thereabouts. So you know, it gets to quite a hefty fish. And then when we look into Mozambique, it's really a bigger area where you can target them a bit more efficiently. But yeah, outside you're looking live baits, small live baits, so little razor bellies. In estuaries they love a little swimming prawn. If you can get a swimming prawn, just hook it lightly in the back, flick them out, they love eating that, as well as your marine worms and things. They also eat those, but it's because of how they feed. So when it comes to actually targeting these guys, they're very strong fighters for their size. So you want to fish as light as possible, obviously within limits. But yeah, light tackle spinning with small spoons. As we mentioned, fly fishing is very good for them. Drop shot fishing with the smaller minnows. Obviously with the bigger fish you're going to go for the bigger minnows. And then they're not really as prolific on the top water. So unlike the other kingies where you can throw plugs and things like this, the golden kingy generally feeds lower down, but that's because his style of feeding is more on the bottom. So if you can bounce little shrimp imitations and things like that along the bottom, you're really in for a good time. Yeah, it's a beautiful fish, one which does make good eating, but something that's quite a rare catch for us down this side, so I'd recommend you guys let them go. It's a lot prettier swimming away than it is in a frying pan. So yeah, the golden kingfish, lovely light tackle game fish, and definitely one to have on your species list. Cheers guys.